Maxey down on strikes, and the Brewers sweep the Phillies. And they sweep the road trip through Boston and Philadelphia 6-0.
Welcome to beautiful Miller Park on this Friday night. The Brew Crew back at home in Milwaukee. Stunning baseball as they go for a 7th straight win. After sweeping Boston and Philadelphia, they welcome division rival the Pittsburgh Pirates are in. Willie Peralta draws the first assignment as the Brewers are wearing the retros. He looks for his first win of the year. He opposes Francisco Liriano, the lefty veteran who also looks for win number 1. Both off to pretty good starts. We're expecting some exciting baseball here tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan alongside Davey Nelson as we welcome you back to our coverage of Brewers baseball here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brewers, 6-game winning streak. You look at the offense, it's been spectacular. It starts on top, though, with Carlos Gomez, who's really becoming quite the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, you know what's funny, though, is the fact that all the previous teams that he's been with saying, oh, we knew he could do it, but they didn't want to wait around to watch this guy mature. Well, the Brewers are reaping the benefits of his maturity over the last 3 years, and this year seems to really come into his own, and he's doing a great job. He's been aggressive in the strike zone and just driving the ball, stealing bases. He's doing the things what Carlos can do best.
Carlos has not changed his approach. He's aggressive in that leadoff spot, 3rd in the league with 16 hits and 2nd in slugging. Well, Pittsburgh's going to bring a potent offense to Miller Park. We'll see how Willie Peralta handles it on the mound here tonight when Brian and Bill return. Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Brewers are swinging the bats well as they're back at home. So are the Pirates, though, to open up this series. For more on Pittsburgh, let's welcome in our game announcers now, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder. Guys.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. You're right. The Pittsburgh Pirates coming here having won their first 3 series of the year. They're 6-3, and nobody hotter in baseball than the Milwaukee Brewers with that 6-game winning streak. But, Rock, when you talk about the Pirates, it all starts with the reigning MVP and Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, he's off to a bit of a slow start, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Last year, the Brewers had a tough time getting this guy out, but the rest of the National League did as well. A 5-tool player can beat you in a lot of different ways. He can run, he can throw. He's an outstanding center field. He hits for power, and he hits to all fields. And when you talk about controlling an offense, this is the guy who has to start with the number 3 hitter. And the guy right behind him isn't too bad either. Back-to-back 30 home run seasons for Pedro Alvarez. He drove in 100 runs last year, off to a great start. 5 home runs in his last 6 games. 3 and 4 in his batting order. They're going to get theirs. You got to control the rest of these guys.
Well, you have to think the Central Division in the National League is one of baseball's best divisions. It was last year, and it starts the trek today. The Brew Crew and the Buccos. Game 1 of 3 coming your way on Fox Sports Wisconsin. We've got the lineups and the first pitch. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Menard, our reporter tonight. Craig and Davey on the table out for Brewers Live. There is Clint Hurdle, the manager of the year in the National League, took his Pirates to the postseason. And the first time the Pirates made it to the playoffs in 20 years a season ago. Associated Bank has the Pittsburgh lineup. Starling Marte, Travis Snyder, and Andrew McCutchen at the top. Pedro Alvarez already with 5 home runs on the season. He's followed by Russell Martin and Neil Walker. And the bottom 3, former Brewer Travis Ishikawa, Jordy Mercer is the shortstop, and Francisco Liriano. He is on the mound and batting 9th. Willie Peralta gets the ball tonight for the Brewers' return trip to Miller Park.
Yeah, pretty good last time out. His first outing against the Boston Red Sox at Fenway, 5 innings. Gave up 5 runs, 2 of them earned. The defense was not very good to Willie in that start. He gave up a home run. 97 pitches it took him to get through 5 innings. Let's check out the Brewers defensively. As sent by Ron Redicky, brought to you by Menards. It's been the same lineup pretty much throughout the last week or so. Ricky Weeks with the left-hander going for the Pirates out at second base. Other than that, everything is pretty consistent. Mark Reynolds continues to get starts over at first base.
Well, the Brewers coming off that perfect road trip, 6-0. There's Greg Gibson. He'll call the balls and strikes tonight. Bill Miller is the crew chief. Vic Carapazza and Adam Hamari join Bill Miller on the bases. And all the pieces in place as Starling Marte strides to the plate, and we're ready for game 1 of this 3-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a key homestand early for the Brewers. Got division rivals coming up in the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. First home start for Willie Peralta, and we could see a lot of swinging and missing and a lot of strikeouts here tonight with these two starting pitchers matching up against each other. Peralta looked very good in his start against the Boston Red Sox last time out. His first of the year, and his first offering is down and away we go.
Yeah, with Willie, it was big velocity from pitch 1 all the way through the 5th inning, 95 to 7 miles an hour. And a good command of a breaking pitch.
Retro Friday tonight here at Miller Park. Brewers decked out in their Retro Friday gear with the ball and glove logo. A good crowd filing in, expecting a sellout tomorrow, and certainly encouraging you to take advantage of that half-price ticket offer through Tuesday. And fun to see division baseball here early in the schedule. Matter of fact, the Pirates are starting the season exclusively in the Central Division, the first 26 games, as Peralta hits the edge and Marte is down on strikes.
Yeah, talk about a buster on the inside corner as you take out Clint Hurdle. It took his team to the postseason last year. Outstanding hit. Look at this, right on the inside corner at 96 miles an hour. Fox Tracks had it a bit inside, but home plate umpire Greg Gibson rung him up.
Against Boston, Peralta had 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. Gave up 5 runs in that game. Only 2 of those runs were earned. That was a game the Brewers won in 11 innings, 7-6. Game 2 of that Red Sox series, as Peralta pumps in strike 1 to Travis Snyder. Pittsburgh coming off a win yesterday at Wrigley Field in Chicago. They have already played the Cubs in 2 series this season. 2 of their first 3 series against the Cubs. They took 2 out of 3 each occasion. Clint Hurdle's club took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals as well.
Yeah, the Pirates were in Milwaukee last night before the Brewers game even started, or pretty close. Day game in Chicago, a night game for the Brewers in Philly. Playing touchdown at about 1:45 local time here last night.
The Pirates had a comeback win yesterday. They were down 4-0 to the Cubs yesterday. Came back to beat them. They've really been hitting some home runs lately. 7 homers in the last 2 games. Mark Reynolds getting a call at first base.
Look at the laces, huh? Sweet.
He's got an old school look about him, doesn't he?
The high tops.
Snyder fouls it away.
Looks like Johnny Unitas out there. Got the high top cleats.
Maybe the yellow laces for effect, an add-on for Retro Friday. Two and two the count. Bouncing ball, it's Segura, and he'll wind it up. Takes care of Snyder for the second out.
And that's what you have to do against the Pirates. You got to get the first 2 and deal with McCutchen and Alvarez, hopefully with nobody on base.
Well, last year the Pirates won the season series from the Brewers. They won 12 of their 19 contests last year, and they took 5 out of 9 here at Miller Park. First time the Pirates had won a series at Miller Park, a season series, since the 04 season. And a guy who loves swinging the bat at Miller Park, Andrew McCutchen, the reigning MVP in the National League. McCutchen in 37 games at Miller Park, 36 starts, has 12 home runs and hitting for a .316 average. Those are the numbers there. 33 ribbies.
And a lot of times, even when he comes into town, having not swung the bat all that well, he all of a sudden figures it out against Brewers pitching.
Been a slow start for McCutchen through the first 9 games. Hitting at just .212. He is 7 for 43 at the plate. Has 3 runs batted in. 1-2. Good slider.
Well, Willie with that very deliberate delivery. Not a whole lot of movement with the legs. Just a little bit of a kick back behind the mound and fires off with that back foot off that pitching rubber, and that's how he generates that velocity. Was able to stay healthy all year last year. Made every one of his starts.
Had a terrific second half last year as McCutchen lays off the slider. And it evens at 2-2. And the count goes full.
McCutchen might be off to a slow start, but he's had a pretty good eye at the plate. He's walked 10 times already. 10 walks, 10 punch outs for McCutchen. Got to throw him strikes.
Yeah, McCutchen, a very quick bat. Can't get a fastball by this guy. And Peralta walks him. So McCutchen, the first base runner of the ball game, a 2-out walk issued by Peralta. And that's going to give Pedro Alvarez a swing here in this first inning. Pittsburgh's lineup is deep. They are well balanced. They have a lot of power and speed. But as Rock mentioned in our open tonight, the 2 guys you have to get control of are the 2 guys in the middle of their order, McCutchen and Alvarez. And that is the case in most major league lineups, but it is especially the case in the Pirates lineup. McCutchen always a threat to run, and he takes off, and the pitch is low. Lucroy's throw not in time. McCutchen just got a hand in there.
Didn't waste any time, did he? Now, you got to be careful here. McCutchen stealing bases with Alvarez at the plate, as hot as he is. He's got 5 homers in his last 6 games. A big lead, a good jump, and just barely able to beat it at second base. That's a good throw by Lucroy. Look how quick. And just a little bit to the third base side of the bag, or he would have been out. That's a good throw.
First stolen base of the year for McCutchen. Stole 27 last year. And Alvarez, big swing at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Won't be fooled by the batting average. Alvarez has hit for some big power already. He's had 5 home runs and 10 runs batted in through the first 9 games of the season. Been drawing his walks, 6 walks, which has impressed his manager, Clint Hurdle. Broken bat right to Segura. Boy, the head of the bat almost hit Mark Reynolds. Side retired. Peralta works a scoreless first. Now the Brewers coming up against Liriano. Peralta working around a 2-out walk to McCutchen. And now the Brewers coming up against the Pittsburgh ace, Francisco Liriano. Carlos Gomez back in the leadoff spot. Associated Bank brings us the starting batting order. It's Gomez, Segura, and Braun, Ramirez, Lucroy, and Davis, Reynolds, Weeks, and Peralta rounding it out. Same 8 position players that started yesterday's game against Cliff Lee. Gomez coming off a monster road trip. But the Brewers know they've got their hands full tonight. One of the top pitchers, top left-handers in the game, Rock, and Francisco Liriano.
Yeah, he was 16-8 last year in 26 starts. Started the year on the disabled list, but finished very strong. The National League's comeback player of the year in Major League Baseball.
Liriano and Gomez, a couple of former Twins. They go back a ways in their professional careers. Gomez coming off a road trip where he hit .452, had 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Played in all 6 games, had 14 hits in those 6 games. And he has started all 9 this year and batted leadoff. Liriano is one of the great swing and miss pitchers in all of baseball. Fastball, slider, changeup, and was a big reason why the Pirates advanced to the postseason last year. They won their wild card game against Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, one of 3 teams out of the Central Division in the National League to make it to the playoffs. They beat the Reds and then lost to the Cardinals in the NLDS. As Gomez, pulled down by Ishikawa. Good athletic play by Travis Ishikawa, slick fielding first baseman. First out.
Yeah, check out the Pirates defense, brought to you by Menards. Got Marte, McCutchen, and Snyder from left to right. Alvarez, who struggles over at third base. Jordy Mercer and Neil Walker up the middle. Former Brewer Travis Ishikawa at first base, who's already made a nice play, and the solid defensive catcher Russell Martin hanging the signs for Liriano tonight.
Here's Gene Segura with one away. Segura comes in hitting an even .300. Has 9 hits on the season, a couple of RBIs. Well, a whole lot to recommend coming off that road trip. I mean, the Brewers clicking on all cylinders. Great pitching. And you break it down, starters and relievers, they open the day with the top ERA for starting pitching, for relief pitching. Huge offensive numbers.
You got to dig deep to find something negative about what the Brewers did on that road trip. It was a tremendous play in every aspect of the game. They trailed in only 3 innings and never trailed by more than 1 run. That's how good they were.
And never trailed longer than 1 full inning.
Man.
And that was yesterday against Cliff Lee. Those are the good news numbers from the Brewers road trip. They hit .320 as a team through Boston and Philadelphia, scored 7 runs a game, and a sparkling team earned run average. As Liriano gets Segura to swing and miss at that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, Liriano's got a tremendous changeup, one of the best in the business. Got a good slider. Yeah, look for Liriano to really try to pull the string on this Brewers ball club. That was a slider down and in, and Segura pulled his head and swung right over the top. Now everybody knows the Brewers are going to be attacking that fastball early in the count.
That's some early MVP chance for the former MVP Ryan Braun. Much different reaction than he got in Philadelphia and Boston as he returns to Miller Park. 2 quick outs for Liriano, and Braun takes one off the plate. All 3 of those home runs and all 10 of the RBIs came in the Philadelphia series.
Look at the numbers against the Pirates. You kidding me? He's always done well against Pittsburgh. Not too many teams in the Central Division that he hasn't had good numbers against. He sees them a lot. He knows their pitching staff. He's a student of the game. He pretty much knows what they're going to do with him.
Braun 8 hits on the last road trip. Slow roller that is going to roll foul, and the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Ryan Braun pretty quiet in Boston. He did get 2 hits on Sunday against John Lester. Had some thumb problems in Boston, and then game 1 against the Phillies was one of his career days. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Second time in his career he's had 3 homers in a game. And then Braun driving in a couple of runs with a triple. So 10 runs batted in total for Ryan Braun. What a road trip it was, as Liriano strikes him out. And the Brewers go quickly in the first. Liriano with a couple of Ks.
November, our Fox Sports Wisconsin crew had the opportunity to take a trip to the Dominican Republic to do some hometown visits with some Brewers All-Stars, including Gene Segura. So tonight, get to know Brewers All-Star shortstop Gene Segura with baseball in the Dominican. Segura takes us through his childhood when he helped his grandmother make and sell candy to feed the family and overcame homesickness, a language barrier, and a broken leg to succeed in the United States. You can tune in tonight after Brewers Live postgame only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And I had the opportunity to catch up with Gene before today's game on what he's most excited for the fans to see about his hometown visit.
Well, every team was fun, especially like, I can't believe it. You guys went there and spent a day and a half with me, with my family, and, with people that I really love down there. And, we're going to the fields that, always play, always, hanging out. And the part where I practice, to get ready for the season. It was an amazing trip for me, and I appreciate you guys to come there and do what you guys do for me.
Well, we had just as much fun with Gene as he did hosting us, and it's an unbelievable story for Gene where he started in San Juan de la Maguana, and we're very excited to show that story for you again tonight. Baseball in the Dominican Republic, Gene Segura, after Brewers Live postgame. Brian?
All right, Sophia, thanks. As Peralta picks up the strikeout, getting Russell Martin. Sophia did a great job, and we will give her all the atta girls that she deserves. She went down there. Trevor Fleck, part of that crew as well, coordinating producer, and that's a fantastic show. You're really going to enjoy it, and I'll make a prediction. It'll be an award-winning effort by those guys.
Good job by everybody, and really sheds a lot of light on what those guys go through in the Dominican.
Second strikeout for Peralta as Neil Walker digs in now. Walker had a memorable opening day for the Pirates. Had a walk-off home run in extra innings on opening day against the Chicago Cubs. Gives you an idea of how talented their batting order is, Rock. You've got a guy like Neil Walker, who you could consider hitting third in a lot of lineups in baseball.
A switch hitter with power.
And he's hitting sixth in the Pirates lineup today.
He's had some good games against the Brewers. Pirates are going to be there when it's all said and done, no doubt. I mean, they've got the majority of their team back. 17 of the 25 that were there last year back this year. Then Hurdle's got them not only playing well, but playing with a lot of confidence. They believe in themselves.
And they've got a lot of talent. They've got more talent coming. Some fantastic upper level prospects on the way as well. As Walker finds the hole, a base hit. And the first hit of the ball game. Neil Walker with one away in the second inning.
Man, Walker doing a pretty good job hitting that ball to the opposite field. A 96-mile-an-hour sinker going away from him. Went right with it.
Now to bring up Travis Ishikawa now. See that number 4 patch the Pirates are wearing, honoring the late Ralph Kiner, legendary Pittsburgh player, major leaguer, a Hall of Fame player. Kiner passed away this past February. And not only a great player, Rock, and he was one of the great home run champs in Major League Baseball, but eventually went on to be a legendary announcer as well. I know you grew up listening to Ralph Kiner, Kiner's Corner.
Yep, New York Mets. Spent a lot of days listening to Bob Murphy, Lindsey Nelson, and Ralph Kiner doing Mets games. Yeah, he's going to be missed.
Kiner was hitting 40 and 50 home runs a year when hardly anybody did that in that era. I think he led the National League in something like 6 or 7 straight years in home runs. So the Pirates wearing the number 4 patch all season to honor Ralph Kiner. Got a great history in Pittsburgh. A lot of legendary players. And that's why they're so excited about getting Pirates baseball back to what they hope is going to be another golden era for them. It's been a long drought, 20 years between playoff appearances.
They got a beautiful ballpark, and last year when the Brewers were in town, they packed that place pretty good. We're going to be going to Pittsburgh next week.
That's right. Starting a series on Thursday. Second road trip of the year. No balls, 2 strikes on Ishikawa. Brewers looking for a double play ball as Peralta comes upstairs, 97 with a fastball. Boy, his arm has been electric, and I'm talking about from the first outing of spring training. Ball just jumping out of his hand.
And he spent the whole year throwing that way. I mean, throwing hard. The big difference for Willie in the second half was the off-speed stuff. He was able to throw that for strikes. That's why he was able to turn his season around. Second half, very good.
Now Peralta getting a chance as a regular member of the rotation, starting last year for the first time in his career. Bouncer, Reynolds out to Segura. The return throw is in time, and Peralta gets the double play he was looking for. Nicely turned double play there as the Brewers get out of the inning. Wipes out the 1-out single by Neil Walker. Pretty 3-6-3 double play.
Call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This off a courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Bottom of the second, here is Aramis Ramirez jumping on the first pitch. Fly ball, shallow right. Walker is there for the out. Ramirez not wasting any time, and you can't blame him. Francisco Liriano already with 2 strikeouts, and one of the great strikeout and swing and miss pitchers in all of baseball right now.
Well, he's got such good off-speed stuff. His slider in the first inning was very good. He got a couple of strikeouts on the slider. He's got a terrific changeup. You see the changeup grip right there. And if you get a fastball to hit early in the count, you go after it. That's the plan against him.
Check out that note. Some great names on that list. Highest percentage of swings that miss. And Liriano is at the top. So if you have a little water cooler discussion tomorrow and you're throwing out names like Nolan Ryan and Randy Johnson and Pedro, Trevor Hoffman, I'm not sure Francisco Liriano is going to make it. But that's how good he's been. He gets a lot of swings and misses. He has great stuff, electric stuff.
And what he does, he establishes those 2 breaking pitches, well, the slider and the changeup, and then later on he will throw some more fastballs once you start looking for the off-speed pitch.
Lucroy takes a ball.
Didn't throw that hard, 91-92.
See what the Brewers have done on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun and Gomez with 3 apiece. All the Brauns came in 1 game. Mark Reynolds with a couple. Lucroy's home run was the first run scored of the road trip. Had a home run in Boston. He knocked it out of sight against Jake Peavy. Hit it out of the stadium, out onto Lansdowne Street. And that had a calming effect, getting on Jake Peavy early in a game. And the Brewers did not look back. And Lucroy strikes out. And Liriano's got his A game going early tonight. 3rd strikeout already for the left-hander.
Yeah, Luke had a good pitch to hit, but he fouled it off. And then Liriano dropped the slider on him. There you see the spin. Watch where it ends up. Down and in off the plate, and the Brewers haven't been able to figure that pitch out yet.
Two up, 2 down. Here is Chris Davis now. And Davis shows bunt, takes a ball. Got Pedro Alvarez's attention over at third base. Limited sample size against the Pirates for Chris Davis. Coming last year, he did homer against them once. Davis had some key hits on the road trip. And a couple of RBIs yesterday. And his at-bat, his last at-bat against Cliff Lee is the one that had him talking at the cage today. Opposite field double for Davis that drove in a run. And that was with 2 strikes and 2 outs in an inning. Typically when Cliff Lee buries an opponent.
We saw Davis go to right center and hit some home runs to right field last year. And was a bit pool conscious in the first week. You can understand, a little bit excited. But he's got a lot of power in that direction. We saw it yesterday.
And Davis chases one, took something off. Couple of strikeouts for Francisco Liriano. Great to be back inside Miller Park. Retro Friday and division rivals matching up. The Brewers.
Now by Brewers Chief Operating Officer Rick Schlesinger. And Rick, as if a 6-game winning streak isn't enough to get fans here to Miller Park, there's a terrific deal going on to get tickets.
Right, it's 5 county days, so almost every ticket in the ballpark is 50% off for tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, and the first 2 games of the Cardinals series. The best marketing tool is a winning team. We've got that, and affordable tickets, so we've got a nice crowd tonight. We're going to probably sell out tomorrow. We have a few tickets left for Saturday. Sunday's a strong night, strong day for attendance, so telling fans buy early because tickets are going fast.
Take advantage of that 5-county, 5-day discount. And also, you know, Carlos Gomez will be honored for his gold glove tomorrow. He's also the first bobblehead giveaway, but you guys really gave him the big league treatment on that bobblehead.
Yeah, he's got a gold glove literally on his bobblehead, and it's funny to say gold glove in Brewers because it's been a while since we've had one, but I think this is the first of several for Carlos, so it's going to be exciting. He'll get his gold glove tomorrow. April 27th will be the bobblehead. Obviously, that will sell out, and it's a great tribute to Carlos and his great defensive prowess.
All right, thanks, Rick. And again, that Carlos Gomez bobblehead will be April 27th. B.A.?
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. Thanks to Rick Schlesinger. And credit to Rick Schlesinger and his team and the business operations. The ballpark looks great, ready for the 2014 campaign. Got some changes around the ballpark, a few touches here and there, and every year they make some adjustments, and it's always fun to be inside this great venue, especially on a night like tonight when the temperatures, you know, dipping down into the 40s with a little rain, and couldn't be more comfortable inside the ballpark tonight with the roof closed.
Yeah, it was beautiful though today, being outside in the low 60s. Well, the field looks great for all the bad weather that we've had here in Wisconsin this winter.
Jordy Mercer down the right field line, foul. Just missed it late on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, the infield dirt is back to the color it was when the ballpark opened. The dark infield dirt, it was a little bit lighter for a few years. Not sure why, but they changed the color. Maybe better consistency. Are you a dirt guy?
No, I'm more of a grass guy than a dirt guy, really. Peralta misses inside. I'm not against dirt, but you know,
I get what you're saying.
Partial to grass.
Why don't we just move on? Let's do that.
Peralta almost hits Jordy Mercer, and he walks to start the 3rd inning. So Willie has been in the stretch in all 3 innings. He walked McCutchen in the first, gave up a single to Neil Walker last inning, and now puts a leadoff runner aboard with the pitcher coming up, Liriano. Meanwhile, Liriano has been dominant in his first 2 innings. Yeah, 6 up, 6 down with 4 Ks.
Yeah, Liriano looks like he's got his good stuff tonight. Early yet, but Willie's been throwing the baseball well. He walked 2 against the Red Sox, already 2 tonight.
Just 24 years of age, Willie Peralta. What a great future. Certainly has the stuff to emerge as an ace at some point. Brewers are hoping it'll be this year. As Liriano bunts it foul. I think Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach, is pleased with the fact that Peralta is in a pretty sweet spot in the starting rotation. He has a lot of veteran pitchers around him, guys who have won. He's got guys like Loesch and Garza, Giovanni Gallardo at the top of this starting rotation. They're all close. They all watch each other's side sessions, bullpen sessions. Peralta's the kid in the group. It's a nice group to be with. As Liriano gets the bunt down, Peralta will take his only play. That's first base, and a sacrifice bunt for the Pittsburgh pitcher.
Hey, 5-county residents can save 50% on tickets today through Tuesday. See the Brewers take on the Pirates and the reigning NL champions St. Louis Cardinals for half price. Visit Brewers.com/5county for details.
3-game series with the Pirates, and then the Cardinals coming in Monday through Wednesday, and then the Brewers will stay in the National League Central when they head to Pittsburgh. That's the next road trip. series that begins on Thursday. That trip to Pittsburgh is a 4-game series, and then right back at Miller Park for a 6-game, 7-day homestand with San Diego and the Chicago Cubs coming in. Lucroy and Peralta trying to get on the same page here with a runner at second.
And it's not often that Lucroy catches Willie Peralta. It's ordinarily Martin Maldonado. Just trying to get together. Such a good relationship between Maldonado and Peralta, but Ron Rennie doesn't want to be painted into a corner by having just Maldonado back there. When you have a red hot hitting catcher like Lucroy, you have to keep him in the lineup. I'm going to have to make the adjustment.
Runner at second with 1 out, and Marte a big hack. Marte is a free swinger, but he's part of the future for the Pirates. Just signed a multi-year contract, buying out a couple of arbitration years for Marte. Pittsburgh's been aggressive locking up some of their young players, and they're all about consistency right now and continuity, and that goes all the way to the top as well. Their general manager and their manager both signing contract extensions. Clint Hurdle and Neil Huntington got 3-year extensions that could go to 4 years, could keep them in Pittsburgh through 2018. So
why not? They've done good work over there.
Very much a stable franchise, and you weren't able to say that about the Pirates for years. 0-2 to Marte. Good block by Lucroy. Keeps Mercer at second.
Not often a baseball gets by Luke these days. That was not an easy one to block. That one had a little bit more tilt on it than the normal slider from Peralta. They're bouncing in front of home plate. Not just textbook for Lucroy. Squares the shoulders. He keeps the glove on the ground and keeps Mercer at second base.
Gives a pitcher a lot of confidence, doesn't it?
You got to be able to bounce that slider with 2 strikes.
See what he does here. 1-2 on Marte. And he got him. Willie went right back to it. Took a little off. Marte strikes out for the second time. And the third K for Peralta. 2 outs in the inning.
And that was a tighter, quicker slider this time. Didn't break like the other one. Looked more like a cut fastball. A little bit off the outside corner, but too close to take.
So 2 gone for Travis Snider. Part of the platoon in right field. The Pirates have 2 platoons going, one over at first and then one in right field. Snider gets a call against the right-handers. Pittsburgh has a young prospect that is close to the big leagues that we might see in the month of June. His name is Gregory Polanco, and he is one of the best prospects in the game. A Carlos Gomez type player, size and speed. He's a left-handed hitter though, and Pirates are thinking he's going to be the right fielder of the future. Snider half swing goes through, and it's 1-1.
There's a lot of good looking young talent coming up to the big leagues these days. We've seen a couple of them. That kid over, that shortstop over with the Boston Red Sox, not too bad. Bogarts.
Yeah, Xander Bogaerts. Willie trying to get through this 3rd inning. A leadoff walk. Mercer still at second base. And Snider into left center. Long run. Davis will fetch it. And the side is retired. Willie Peralta, 3 scoreless against the Pirates.
hashtag WIS fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Brian?
All right, Sophia, thanks. How's your tweeting going today, Rock? Or maybe I should ask Sophia how your tweeting is going today.
You know, we got in real late last night and kind of sluggish. So, Twitter was the first thing that was banged out to my day today.
Check it off the list.
I decided not to go that route. Just kind of save my energy.
At Brewers Fan Camp is Rock's Twitter handle. Sophia may or may not have something to do with that Twitter handle as well. Just saying. As Mark Reynolds leads off this third inning. Liriano has been tough to handle so far. He has had all three of his pitches going. And that changeup right there gets Reynolds out in front. Well, when Liriano first broke onto the scene with the Minnesota Twins, there was no lefty better. There's a ball in play. Has to be considered a success here the way Liriano's going, and Reynolds is retired. And that's 7 straight set down by Liriano. Tell you, when Liriano got to the big leagues and he and Johan Santana were in Minnesota, they thought they had 2 dominant left-handers for years.
Yep, Santana got traded and Liriano had Tommy John surgery. Kind of set him back a little bit. Took a while to get to regain the form. Never really got the velocity back. Liriano used to be a guy in the mid to upper 90s with a fastball, but he's always had that good changeup. And when you have that, you don't have to throw 95, 96.
Broke onto the scene in 05, made his big league debut as a 21-year-old. Ricky Weeks over to Alvarez. 2 outs. Francisco Liriano has retired 8 straight and showing some of that no-hit form. He does have a no-hitter in the big leagues, and a guy that on any given night can shut a lineup down.
And using his fastball very sparingly. It's been sliders and change-ups, and the Brewers have had a tough time figuring them out the first time through the batting order. Let's see what the Brewers are able to do second time through. But he hasn't made any mistakes with those off-speed pitches. That's what the Brewers are looking for.
Here's Willie Peralta, the Brewers pitcher. And it's 1-2 on Willie. Liriano threw his no-hitter in 2011. That was not a great year for him with the Twins. Had a losing record and an ERA over 5. But he's got one on the board, and he strikes out Peralta. And 9 in a row retired by Liriano. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by First Supply, the preferred distributor to professional contractors since 1897. Now this season, Saturday baseball comes to America's newest sports network, Fox Sports 1. This week, the Red Sox head to New York. They battle the Yankees. Fox Sports 1, your home for baseball every Saturday starting this week at noon Central. And to find Fox Sports 1 on your cable satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Yankees and Red Sox playing game 2 tonight in New York. John Lester against CC Sabathia. And the Red Sox have a 4-1 lead right now. Grady Sizemore has homered in that game. Here in Milwaukee, we're scoreless. 4th inning we go. Willie Peralta and Francisco Liriano. Peralta's given up 1 hit. He's walked 2. McCutchen drew one of those walks with 2 outs in the first, and he leads off here in the 4th. Peralta goes through the order the first time with 2 strikeouts as McCutchen sends it high in the air to center. Gomez is under it for the first out. Just missed it on the bat. And a long, loud out for Andrew McCutchen. Willie knows it.
Man, just got under enough to keep it in the ballpark. And McCutchen, one of those guys that has incredible power. And just a little behind it, you can see a little bit behind it means he's underneath and pops it up. Still went a pretty good ways. It's a nice short stroke from McCutchen.
Now established as one of the game's real superstars. Pedro Alvarez is entering that elite status. There are a lot of folks in Pittsburgh that watch him every day feel like he's got a chance to win an MVP award. His defense is improving at third base. He's got a great arm. That's off the end of the bat, and that is deep to right, but Braun is there. Well, that's how strong he is. Hits it nearly to the track, right off the end of the bat. Peralta 2 up and 2 down in this 4th inning.
A couple of near misses and a changeup. Changeup up in the strike zone. And right off the end of the bat, but strong enough to almost knock it out of here. Doesn't take much to right. Hey, Liriano has been throwing changeups all night. Has not left one up there to the Brewers. No.
2 quick outs for Willie. And here is Russell Martin. And that ball's whistled back up the middle on the first pitch. Martin, a single to center. It's a great matchup in this series of 2 outstanding two-way catchers, both offensively and defensively, with Russell Martin and Jonathan Lucroy. You're talking about 2 of the best in the National League here matching up.
Yeah, Willie lucky to get out of the way of that one. That was a rocket fastball up out over the plate. Martin, one of those guys, what he gives you offensively is a bonus. I mean, he's one of the reasons why the Pirates pitching staff was so good last year. Knows how to call a game. He gets pitchers through games even when they don't have the good stuff. He's a pro. He knows what he's doing behind home plate.
Neil Walker, he swings away at the first pitch. Now, Rock, I know how you feel about the catching position, how important that is, but I think you can point to, of all the changes the Pirates made, and they upgraded their pitching, certainly their young players came up, emerged as stars, but the one change that they made was adding Russell Martin to their roster, and that has turned their franchise around a little bit.
Remember how teams used to run wild on the Pirates? That doesn't happen anymore.
And it's not just the skills between the lines that Martin has. He's a leader. He's got a little bit of swagger to him, Russell Martin. You know, he's been a part of big market ball clubs in New York with the Yankees, in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. 0-2 on Walker. Just got a piece to hang in there.
And a delayed steal by Russell Martin. Don't see many of those these days. And first LA, then New York. With the Yankees, got to feel like he's hiding nicely in Pittsburgh. Not a whole lot of pressure there, and he's responded well.
See what Peralta does with Neil Walker. 0-2. And he pulls it. Oh, nice play, Mark Reynolds. And the inning ends. 9-pitch inning for Willie Peralta, and a beautiful play over at first base by Reynolds. A glove save and a dandy. Brewers coming up. By Northwestern Mutual. If you're a lucky winner, you get half of the raffle proceeds for that game. The other half goes to Brewers Community Foundation. A win-win for you and the community. Play the 50-50 raffle throughout the regular season for the opportunity to win big. Liriano back on the mound as Carlos Gomez leads off. And these former teammates in Minnesota. Sophia, these two guys go way back into the Twins organization and still good friends to this day.
Yeah, Gomez said, you know, he and Liriano spent a lot of time together in Minnesota. They still stay in touch, try to see each other as often as they can, especially when they're facing each other. And Ron Renneke had some great comments about Gomez in the leadoff spot, saying knew he was going to get an aggressive hitter, but said he's been better and maybe even more aggressive than what he thought he was going to be. He said he's making really good at-bats, racked up 14 hits and 2 home runs on that road trip. But he said we're still seeing that wild Gomez swing sometimes, but what he likes is he's not chasing pitches. When he's swinging aggressively, he's swinging at the close ones. And so he does see a more composed and you know, selective Carlos Gomez at the leadoff spot.
Gomez, not your prototypical leadoff hitter. I mean, he's fast like a prototypical leadoff hitter, but that's about where it ends for Gomez. And all you have to do is look at his on-base percentage to start the year through the first 9 games. He's at .422, and only Dexter Fowler slugging better than Gomez from that leadoff spot. Gomez with 3 homers and 6 runs batted in. Liriano misses and the count goes full.
That's what Sophia's talking about right there. I mean, the patience. I mean, he's going to take a wild swing from time to time, but he will compose himself and shorten up.
It's the closest the Brewers have been to a base runner tonight. 3-2 the count. And Gomez lays off. He went with a changeup. And after retiring 9 in a row to start the game, Liriano puts a man on via the walk.
And Carlos very patient, not chasing that off-speed stuff. First it was the slider, and now the 3-2 changeup. Almost went for it, able to hold up. And not really that close. Good at bat.
That is to Sophia's point about Gomez and being more selective at the plate. And now we'll see if he's ready to run. Gene Segura takes it low.
Mariano, not a great move, but a decent move. And remember, Martin, one of the better throwing catchers in all of baseball. He will neutralize a running game by himself.
Two-0. Starting to misfire with the changeup now.
Yeah, get him in the stretch for the first time and maybe disrupt his routine. And the first two pitches, not even close. This is not when you want to take off and run when you've got a 2-0 count on your number 2 hitter.
Little tapper in front of the plate. Martin will go to first for the out. First out of the inning, works like a sacrifice bunt. Gomez ends up at scoring position. Martin didn't take long to jump on that one, and he had to hurry with Segura running down the line.
He might have got some dirt in his eyes on that ball that was beaten into the ground, but certainly didn't look like it on that play. Nobody at second base for some reason. Martin thought about going to second. Probably better that he didn't, because Gomez gets down there obviously very well, but got the out at first.
Well, the Brewers still hitless, but have a runner in scoring position for the first time, and here comes Ryan Braun. Last game the Brewers played here at Miller Park, they were shut out 1-0 by the Braves. Runs tough to come by in those first 3 games against Atlanta. Brewers didn't have any trouble scoring runs and putting up offense on the road. Second time through the lineup, the Brewers starting to take some pretty good changeups from Liriano.
Yeah, seeing it a lot better.
That one's in there. Fastball for strike one.
Yeah, one of his better fastballs, 93 miles an hour that time, right on the inside corner. Change up away for a ball. Looking fastball's Braun. And he busts him inside.
Last year, Liriano was the starter and winner in the wild card game against the Reds, winning a postseason game for the first time in 20 years in Pittsburgh franchise history. One ball, one strike. 2-1. Pirates chose not to make an offer for A.J. Burnett, at least the kind of offer that Burnett was looking for. Burnett has ended up in Philadelphia. But Liriano fronts this rotation as Wandy Rodriguez, Edinson Volquez, and Charlie Morton, and an ace in the making, Garrett Cole, who pitched yesterday. Braun, a bouncing ball. Mercer will make the play to first for the out. Second out of the inning. Gomez almost ran into an out and got hit by the baseball in the process.
Yeah, jumping like a hurdler right here, and not even close. Able to get to third. I mean, not many guys are going to be able to get to third on a ball hit right at the shortstop, but Gomez so fast they were forced to get Braun at first.
Two outs for Ramos Ramirez. Swung at the first pitch his last time up, and he hacks at the first one here. A changeup. Brewers still without a hit, but a runner at third, trying to score the game's first run.
Keep a an eye on that slider, the change up in the dirt with Gomez at third base. That big secondary lead, and with that thought, Liriano might not be so willing to spike that breaking pitch down low.
0-2 on Ramirez. Ramos came up with the Pirates. He was signed and developed by Pittsburgh. Said he enjoyed his time in Pittsburgh and was shocked when he was traded from the Pirates to the Cubs. Has spent his entire career in the National League Central. Pirates, Cubs, and now the Brewers, his third year. The 0-2, Ramirez, foul ball, didn't mean to do it. Ramos has had a nice start to the year. He's second on the club in RBIs with 8 at this point. Braun has 10. 15 hits in his first 9 games of the season. And did he go, they will ask? No, he didn't.
Nice block by Martin. Saved a run. And with Martin back behind home plate, you don't have to worry about pitches down in the dirt. That pitch bounces in front of home plate and able to keep it close.
See Martin with the fingernail stickers on, the fluorescent stickers for Liriano to see his signals. Going with a fastball. 1-2. And Ramirez turns it around. Way back left field. Ramirez will watch it go. A 2-run home run. First hit of the ball game for the Brewers puts them on the board. First home run of the year for Aramis Ramirez. RBIs for Ramirez. That's his first home run. Liriano tried to sneak a fastball by him, and Ramirez made him pay.
Yeah, tried to come inside, left it out over the plate.
And now Lucroy, a bouncer to Mercer. And that will retire the side. But how about Aramis Ramirez? What a start he's off to this year. Downtown he goes. And the Brewers get a quick 2-spot with 2 outs. And they lead 2-0.
Two-run home run to give the Brewers a 2-zip lead here in the top of the 5th inning, and the Brewers and the Redbirds collide for the first time in 2014 when the reigning NL champion Cardinals come to Miller Park this Monday, April 14th through Wednesday the 16th. Reserve your seats today at 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Well, I love these early season division matchups, creating a little spice in the April schedule. Got the Pirates and the Cardinals on this homestand. St. Louis off to a 5-4 start. Cardinals are home tonight against the Cubs, and they lead 1-0. Travis Ishikawa leads off for the Pirates. Brewers snapped a long scoreless streak here at Miller Park with that home run. Weeks takes a tough hop, takes care of Ishikawa for the first out of the 5th inning. Now remember, the Brewers were shut out here against the Braves in their last game at Miller Park last Wednesday, and their scoreless inning streak by an offense was up to 13 innings until Ramirez sent that fastball into the bullpen. Here's Jordy Mercer with 1 out.
And then they go on the road and they have, how long the stretch was where they had at least one hit in every inning.
They ended up at 23 consecutive innings.
Yeah, amazing. There's no figure in this game. It really isn't. You just go out there, you throw them out there in the field, see what happens. You try and predict, an outcome before you start, then a lot of times you're going to look foolish. Not always. That's why they play them.
And that's why they pay guys like Bill Schroeder the big bucks to analyze this madness. I asked Bill how many wins were the Brewers going to get on the road trip, and he said 6.
I say that every road trip.
Jam shot over to Segura. 2 outs. A couple of ground ball outs for Peralta in this 5th inning.
Yeah, this is the kind of inning he needs after his team gets him a 2 spot in the bottom of the 4th. Come out here and have a quick inning, get back in that dugout and swing the bats.
That'll bring up the pitcher Liriano with 2 away. Peralta coming off a 9-pitch 4th inning. Been pretty economical with his pitches thus far. Liriano backs out and allows that one in for a strike. Liriano actually had a hit in the wild card game last year against Johnny Cueto. Lulls you to sleep as he backs out of there twice.
Anybody with the bat in their hand can be dangerous if you don't make good pitches.
And a little flare to left. Davis was playing shallow. He eases back. Nice inning for Willie Peralta. Another 9-pitch frame. 2-0 Brew Crew. Coming up, Carsoup.com trivia question tonight. Prior to last season, who was the last Pirates manager to win a playoff series? Good question. Something to ponder. Clint Hurdle taking his club to the postseason last year. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder with your brand new glove.
Yeah. You smell that. That smells good. Don't you love the smell of nice, fresh, clean leather?
I do.
They should bottle that. I love it.
Just don't ask me to pull it.
I'm still trying to break it in.
Well, we're glad to be back at Miller Park. It's always a fun place to watch a ball game, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead. Good to be back with our great crew as well. Some of the best in the business. Tonight's game being produced by Wave Robinson, directed by Renardo Lowe. Liriano's only given up 1 hit, but it was a 2-run home run by Aramis Ramirez.
He's starting to throw a few more fastballs. Brewers laying off the soft stuff that's out of the strike zone and forcing Liriano to throw more fastballs, 90 to 93 miles an hour.
Interesting, the Pirates, and we're early in the schedule here, but they put a shift on for Chris Davis. They've got 3 infielders on the left side. Two and one, and Davis a big swing.
And they have Andrew McCutchen shaded toward left, pretty much straight away and left and right, but playing to pull in the infield, which means he doesn't hit many ground balls to the right side.
Davis has enough of a history. Second half last year, and what he's done this year, it almost looked like he was trying to go to right field with that swing. Davis has great power to all fields. No ballpark can hold him. They call it pole-to-pole power. He's still looking for his first home run of the season. And Liriano strikes him out. A changeup has been a good pitch for him. Davis, strikeout victim number 6 for Liriano.
And he's always able to keep it down in the strike zone. Look at the location of the changeup. Down around the ankles, and not too many hitters are going to be able to hit that pitch hard. You leave it up in the zone, you give a hitter a chance. He hasn't done it once with that changeup.
It's the best pitch in baseball when it's thrown properly. As Reynolds sends one deep. That is way back. Goodbye, Mark Reynolds on the first pitch. His 3rd home run as a Brewer, and it's 3-0 Milwaukee. And another fastball from Liriano that gets launched out of here.
Yeah, right down the middle on the first pitch. Brewers are not about to let those go by early in the count. The fastball. There you see the grip, a 2-seam fastball up in the zone. So the only 2 pitches that he's made mistakes on are both fastballs. Both ends up home runs. And Reynolds nearly hits that one over everything.
Oh. Boy, what power he has, Mark Reynolds. He is off to a fantastic start for the Brewers, starting to emerge as the everyday first baseman in this early part of the schedule. Powerball home run number 3 for Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, the Brewers knew what they had in Reynolds when they picked him up in the offseason and really didn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about a rough spring training for Reynolds. They knew that he was going to be able to get things together, and he certainly has.
Aren't many lineups in the big leagues that can boast power like that in the 7th spot in their batting order. It's a very deep lineup for the Brewers this year. Reynolds and Overbay part of a first base platoon, but the way Reynolds is swinging the bat, he's starting to get starts against right-handers as Weeks goes down the line. That's a fair ball. Into the corner it goes. Ricky on his way to second base, and now the hits are coming for the Brew Crew.
And another fastball. 92 miles an hour, middle in, and Ricky able to turn it around. Well, he buggy whips this one through the strike zone. And just able to keep it fair by about a foot. So a one-out double for Weeks.
First extra base hit of the year for Weeks. His third hit overall. As he rips one to the wall. Puts a runner in scoring position here with one away. I'll give Peralta a chance to bunt. Corner infielders in for Pittsburgh. And Peralta not bunting, takes a ball.
Man, let him swing away. Why not? Weeks already in scoring position. And he can swing it a little bit. He's not afraid to take a nice swing.
Yeah, don't be fooled by that 130 career batting average. Peralta, he's got some power. If BP counted, he'd be the leader. I mean, you got some pretty good power hitters in that pitching staff too, like a Giovanni Gallardo. He and Peralta regularly put on a show in batting practice. Willie hit a couple of home runs this spring. One ball, two strikes. Top of the order coming up next. And Peralta strikes out. So strikeout number 7. And here comes Gomez. Third trip through the batting order now.
And much better result second time through. Let's see what the Brewers able to do this third time through.
Yeah, the Brewers second time through the batting order go 3 for 8 with a walk. And 2 home runs and a double. Liriano retired the first 9, 3 perfect innings with 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. And then a mistake with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the fourth to Ramirez. Daylight play at second, close. Weeks is just back.
Yeah, that was close.
And Neil Walker is barking at the second base umpire. That is a challengeable call.
Let's see if Clint Hurdle makes his way out. I tell you, that's pretty close. I'm not sure why Clint Hurdle's not going out there.
Yeah, looks like he was out, and we'll see if Hurdle will challenge. Tough decision to make.
Too late now.
Yep. Once the pitcher's back on the rubber.
Once the pitcher's back on the rubber and the hitter is in the batter's box. And for some reason, Clint Hurdle elects not to go out there with a man at second and Gomez up.
See if Gomez can make him pay. Pirates had a call yesterday in the Cubs game that they could have challenged, did not. As Gomez line drive left field down, base hit. Here comes Weeks. He'll score, and it's 4-0. And a play that was not challenged turns into a huge moment in this game as Gomez delivers with a 2-out RBI.
Well, Gomez finally able to get a pitch up in the strike zone. Looked like a changeup from Liriano. One of the few that he's left up in the strike zone, and gets it down the line, and Ricky Weeks able to score run number 4. There it is. A mistake changeup, and Gomez comes through with 2 outs.
Oh, what a big turn of events there. That could have ended the inning. Certainly looked like enough evidence to overturn a call. For the second straight day, Clint Hurdle does not challenge one. And the Brewers make them bite.
And both times it's cost them a run.
Ricky Weeks doubles and scores, and the Brewers lead 4-0 on 4 hits. The play that is in question
I'd say it's awfully close. I mean, not sure if they would have overturned it or not, but it looked like a fraction of an inch he was out.
Those are the decisions managers are having to make. It's one of the reasons Ron Renneke was against the current replay system, putting that extra burden on the manager to determine when to challenge a call or not. And what we're hearing a lot of now from these managers, and I talked to Ron Renneke about that before the ball game today, that clear and convincing language as Segura goes to short and the out at second to end the inning. Well, the Brewers add 2 more, and Mark Reynolds, his 3rd home run as a Brewer. 4-0. Sixth inning, our Carsoup.com trivia question. Prior to last year, the last Pirate manager to win a playoff series. Got to go back to 1993, or rather 1979, when Chuck Tanner, the 79 World Series. Jim Leyland and the Pirates before the division series lost 3 in a row. That would have been the Atlanta Braves.
That would have been my guess. It would have been wrong, though.
It was a different era that you entered into the LCS right away, and so they didn't win a series that year. The infamous Sid Bream mad dash to the plate. Barry Bonds couldn't throw him out. Pirates fans don't like talking about that. There's a hot one right to Segura on 2 hops, and Marte is out, and Peralta keeps it rolling here. It's working on a 2-hit shutout as we play in the 6th inning. As we check in with Sophia.
Brian, catch every strikeout, every game ender, and every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 9 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now, it's a really cool show on Fox 1, baseball-specific show, airing weeknights, and has analysis from former players like Frank Thomas, Eric Karros, former Brewer, Gabe Kapler, and C.J. Nitkowski. So a cool show for fans to check out. And Ron Renneke talking about Willie Peralta, his outing today, said we'll know when Willie's in a groove. If we see that sinker down, then that slider over like we're used to seeing. Says the one concern there is when Willie tries to overthrow. But so far so good for Willie. He's in a good rhythm, getting 7 ground ball outs.
And seems really relaxed out there in the mound. I mean, he did really in his start against the Red Sox. I mean, that was an environment that you would expect Willie to be trying to throw the ball through the catcher's into the backstop, but he seems to be relaxed, and the first time in a long time that he and Lucroy have worked together in the regular season. It's worked out nice so far.
I like what Ron Renneke said in the context of his catcher. because there's a lot of discussion about it. Maldonado was essentially his personal catcher last year. And he said, look, when Peralta gets comfortable as a big leaguer, which they feel like he will be this year and was in the second half, it's not going to matter who his catcher is. He's got that much talent. As Travis Snyder bangs one through the gap. And a base hit for Snyder, his first of the night. First hit for the Pirates since the fourth.
First time that Peralta's allowed the 1 and 2 hitters on in front of McCutchen and Alvarez. That was one of the keys that we were talking about when we came on the air tonight. You got to control the first two before these two guys come up.
Peralta has allowed 3 hits. He's given up 2 walks, but never more than 1 base runner in an inning at this point. Brewers with back-to-back 2-run innings. 2-run homer by Aramis Ramirez in the fourth. Mark Reynolds a solo homer last inning, and then Gomez with a 2-out RBI double. Two and 0 to McCutchen, and it's 3-0, and Peralta a little frustrated. He's nibbled a little bit with Andrew McCutchen, understandably so, but McCutchen is off to a slow start at the plate. You don't want to be the pitcher that he gets hot against. He'll get hot at some point. Oh, swing it away, 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Even down by 4 runs with Alvarez on deck. They're thinking that McCutchen, the MVP, knock one out of here. Had a home run swing.
Trying to minimize base runners with Pedro Alvarez due up next. McCutchen, a tough guy to double up. He has to hit a shot right at an infielder. And a swing and a miss. That was by him. 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Peralta.
Yeah, right on that outside corner. Maybe you strike him out, throw him out here with a slider. Here it is, hit it, but right on the edge.
It was 3-0, now 3-2 to the reigning MVP. And McCutchen bounces to third. Ramirez to second for one. Weeks turn, and not in time.
Not going to get him.
Reynolds did the right thing coming off the bag. So the second out, Peralta comes all the way back from down 3-0 to McCutchen to get the second out of the inning.
Good play by Ramirez on a tricky hop. Watch the way he has to jump up to get this second hop. Able to handle it and throws a strike to Weeks.
Reynolds making sure that one didn't end up in the dugout. 2 outs, and here is Alvarez. And a long fly ball out in the fourth on a changeup from Peralta. He just missed it, and he's late on that fastball. Well, you can really see the Peralta Lucroy thought process here as they go back and forth to these hitters. The last pitch to Alvarez, a changeup, the last pitch that's on his mind, comes back with a fastball, and it was by him.
And a good fastball hitter, just thinking, not sure if he's going to get the changeup or not. Just a tick behind that fastball. Here comes a slider. Oh, and it was a good one.
Sliders are risky to big power hitters, especially low ball hitters like Alvarez.
And that was just down enough. Wasn't even supposed to be on the inside corner. It's supposed to be a little backdoor slider on the corner on the edge.
And Willie wants another one. 0-2 the count. And Alvarez lines it foul. Yikes. There's a baby down there too. Boy, that's scary. I hate seeing that. Dad protected him though.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
You got to keep your eye on the game down there.
Well, we'll see where they're going next. Peralta wants to start it over again. Going back to the heat. Check on McCutchen. Peralta trying to get through 6 shutout innings here. 0-2 to Alvarez. 1-2.
Conversation right here might be careful you throw the slider. Put it in the dirt, I'll block it for you. Don't want to leave it up in the zone. This guy will knock it out of the ballpark. Threw one slider to him in this at bat. Perfectly located. So if you want to throw it, let's put it down there again.
See what he does. McCutchen at first, takes off, and Alvarez takes the ball. McCutchen will slide in without a throw. His second stolen base of the night. So it goes to 2-2. Peralta deals, and Alvarez takes low. Had him at 0-2. Now it's 3-2. This is what Clint Hurdle's talking about with Pedro Alvarez and his discipline. Showed it in the second half last year. Those are all pitches he was swinging at a lot early in his career, and a lot of young power hitters do. 20th pitch of the inning for Peralta. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming. Crowds behind him. The payoff pitch.
Changeup. How about that?
Good battle going here. McCutchen in scoring position after the stolen base. Peralta's given up a hit in this inning. And now the 8th pitch of the at-bat against Alvarez. And he got him. Willie Peralta strikes him out. Went back to the slider. What a confrontation there. Shutout intact. And Ryan Braun will lead off when we come back. Brewers lead 4-0 as tradition unlike any other. The famous racing sausages. Well, maybe there's one other tradition that's different than the famous racing sausages, but you get the idea. Masters Week. And the Italian coming in as the champion here today. That's when you know you're home and you're back in your comfortable surroundings, when the Clements famous racing sausages do their thing. Did you get your Masters pick in, Rock?
I was watching it today for a little bit.
Ryan Braun starts this 6th inning, 4-0 Milwaukee. You remember Jimmy Walker, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was here in the booth. He is a friend of show. Hung out with us here at Miller Park a couple of years. He's in the hunt at Augusta National.
No Tiger, though, right?
No Tiger. No Phil.
Didn't make the cut, did he?
I don't think so. No, he did not. 2-0 on Braun. And there's a strike. Well, a big strikeout of Pedro Alvarez to end the 6th inning. Peralta is cruising along here. 2-1, and Braun chased that one. Boy, came up with a changeup on a 2-1 offering. Liriano breezed through the first 3 innings. Brewers have touched him up in the last 2. Payoff pitch. And Braun fouls it away.
They knew it wasn't going to be a fastball, right? That throws him a changeup, and Braun a little bit behind it. That's good arm action on that pitch for Liriano. I mean, it looks like a fastball. He just chokes off the speed. With the grip, and throw a slider now.
And Braun pulls it right to Alvarez. Bobbles, recovers, and gets Braun at first. Good play by Pedro Alvarez. That was a tough hop.
Good at bat by Braun. Hit that one right on the nose. And Alvarez, who's struggled defensively throughout his career, stays in front of that one, knocks it down, and a good strong arm to first base. That ball got to him quickly.
Didn't panic, made the play. 1 gone. Here's Ramirez. What a start for Ramos Ramirez. Been clutch this year. Send it down to Sophia with more on Ramos.
Brian, with his home run in the 4th, Aramis Ramirez now is scorching 8 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And Ron Renicky said that coming from Boston and seeing one of the all-time best in that category in David Ortiz, he said Ramirez has to be considered similar to one of those kinds of guys. He said, I don't know if it's because of their talent level or their personality that they're just able to turn it up in that situation, or their history of success in that situation, but he said no doubt he is a proven run producer and has to be considered in that category as one of the guys that you fear when he comes up to bat with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, no question. And he's been a guy that when he's stayed healthy and he's been able to play a full season, he can almost book a 100 RBI year for Ramos Ramirez. He's been that kind of player.
Well, he doesn't get too worked up in those run producing situations. He relaxes. He let the pitch come to him. The organs are going. There's men on base. Everybody's all charged up. The pitcher's, he's worked up, and he just stays relaxed. And all your good run producers do that. You're able to slow the game down when everything's going real fast around them. Another tremendous play by Russell Martin.
Ramirez hit a fastball out of the park in the 4th. And there's a breaking ball into the shift. Walker on the left side makes a play. 2 ground outs for Liriano in the 6th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Remember, you can tweet your photo to #WisFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Disney Mom Wisconsin. Picture from Miller Park. Two outs for Jonathan Lucroy. Looking ahead to the Pittsburgh 7th. Russell Martin will lead off, then Neil Walker, followed by Travis Ishikawa. Peralta moving toward the bottom of their order. 5, 6, and 7 coming up. Willie's pitch count in good shape. Renicky probably would like to see him get through one more, and then you'd probably see his spot in the batting order come up after that. That might be it. 4-0 Crew. A 2 spot in the 4th. 2 more in the 5th. Ramirez and Reynolds with home runs tonight. Carlos Gomez had an RBI as well, a single and an RBI in the 5th inning. Brewers setting on the longest winning streak in baseball, 6 in a row. And all 6 of those wins coming on the last road trip. Swept the Red Sox at Fenway. Swept the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park.
And the Marlins beating the Phillies 2-0 in the top of the 8th. So Phillies having a rough time scoring runs.
Now they're matching up against Fernandez tonight. 3-2. Lucroy draws the walk. So a base runner for the Brewers with 2 outs. Lucroy walks. That'll get Chris Davis to the plate. And you see Hurdle checking his batting order.
Pitch count sitting at 89 pitches for Liriano. He's still in pretty good shape.
Got 19 here in this inning.
And nobody getting loose down in the bullpen. This is his guy. He's going to keep him out there for a while.
Chris Davis with 2 away. And that skips by Martin. And on his way to second goes Lucroy. And Lucroy is going to keep going. He ends up at third base. What great base running. Lucroy saw it all the way.
Martin took a long time to get there. Not sure if he didn't know where it was. He was just feeling the pain of that pitch as it hit him in the dirt. Check out Luke. Who said catchers can't run? He never slowed down, never saw it. Finally getting there, and no chance to get Luke Croy at third base. Luke Croy knows how tough that throw is from over there. And it takes a while to get there, and able to make it to third base.
2 base wild pitch. Runner at third with 2 outs for Davis. Davis had a 2-out RBI double yesterday against Cliff Lee in a similar spot. Think about the left-handed starting pitchers the Brewers have faced. John Lester and Cliff Lee and now Liriano, all of them aces. And Alex Wood, not exactly a household name, but he's no slouch for the Atlanta Braves. He might have some of the best stuff of them all. For 4-0 Crew trying to add to it. And Davis lays off. Tough pitch. 3-1. Pirates expecting Davis to pull both the infield and the outfield. And he goes, says home plate umpire Greg Gibson. Full count. No argument from Davis.
A little too anxious on that 3-1 pitch. Knew he was going to get a fastball, but off the plate.
Going back to the fastball. Brewers have done some damage on that pitch tonight. And Davis into right field, slicing on the run, Snyder, and he's got it for the out. That'll retire the side. 4-0 Brewers. Brewers trying to keep the good times rolling tonight. They've won 6 straight, trying to make it 7 in a row. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? My partner over here got the drool working. Nothing like some nachos on a Friday night. Great to have you with us tonight. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard. Willie Peralta working on a 3-hit shutout thus far as he starts his 7th inning of work. And Russell Martin leads off. Martin has one of the 3 Pittsburgh hits. He had a line drive single to center field in the 4th inning. Bouncer to third. Ramirez will wind it up. And a low throw, and Reynolds can't make the play. Tough hop. And the normally sure-handed Reynolds.
Yeah, hardly ever see Ramirez throw a ball away like that on a routine ground ball. That was a tough hop, an in-between hop. And you can handle those short hops or long hop, but this is a toughie right here. He knocks it down, but not able to get the out.
Tough chance for Mark Reynolds. I meant the normally sure-handed Ramirez, who is a great thrower typically. Usually puts it right on the bag, not this time, and that gives the Pirates a leadoff base runner here in the 7th. Here's Neil Walker. This is where Peralta, what we saw in the first half last year, might come unravel a little bit. He got a little shaky with an error behind him, and we really saw him mature in the second half last year. That was a big difference for him. And he has that power sinker. He has the ability to erase errors with double plays because of his sinking fastball. Gets a lot of ground balls.
Yes, and he's got a lot of them tonight. Could use a 2 hop of the weeks right now.
Nine ground ball outs for Peralta. Half of his outs on the ground. In the air, right center. That's well hit. Carlos Gomez going back, out of room. And just like that, the Pirates have made it a 2-run game. Neil Walker goes deep, his 2nd home run of the year. And it's 4-2 Brewers.
He's always able to come up big against Milwaukee. His second hit of the game. This was a big fly. Cuts the lead in half. So the error comes back. Opens up the inning, and the Pirates on the board. A two-seam fastball up down the middle of the plate, and Walker centers on it and knocks it out of here to right center.
And Peralta.
Now this is where he has to stay composed. These are the times where those times we were talking about early last year where he would continue to dwell over a bad pitch that he made, like the one he just did to Walker. And that's why Lucroy's coming out. You just see a little bit different look in his face. He's angry. He's got to get over it.
Good visit by Lucroy. Down at the bottom of the order. Roenicke has activity in his bullpen right now.
It's a pretty well rested bullpen too. Kinsler hasn't pitched in a while. Smith. Jim Henderson's starting to loosen up. He's starting to raise his stock out in that pen.
Ishikawa hits it sharply, but Gomez is right there for out number one. He'll hit that right on the button. Henderson back-to-back outings in Philadelphia. Starting to get his fastball back and his stuff. You know, Roenicke would love to get Willie through the seventh. His spot in the batting order due up third in the bottom half. Not a key hitter here for Peralta. 8th place hitter in Jordy Mercer. Pitcher spot due up next. And Hurdle will most certainly go to his bench. Chased one. 0-2 the count.
And 95 still throwing hard. 96 pitches now for Willie.
Went with a slider. Didn't miss by much. If it missed at all. Check Fox tracks. Looked like it had the corner. 1-2 to Mercer. Like the Brewers, the Pirates have done a lot of damage this year offensively in the last 3 innings of games. More than half of their runs this season have come from the 7th inning on. Broken bat. Ramirez ranges over, spins, fires, and makes a nice play to get him. Second out of the inning. That was a dandy by Aramis Ramirez.
Well, he seems to know where first base is. He's able to grab it. That would have been a tough play for Segura, even with his big throwing arm. Gets it in the webbing, spins around, and makes a nice throw over to first base. That's more like it for Ramirez.
Ramirez committing an error, his second error of the year that put Martin aboard. A 2-run homer by Walker. Peralta will face Jose Tabata now. Pinch hitting. Little jam shot to Segura. And Willie Peralta, 7 strong innings tonight against the Pirates. Mark Reynolds will lead off. Last time up, he launched one out of here. His first Miller Park home run. Brewers lead 4-2. Stretch time in Milwaukee.
the end of the line right now, but he leads with a 4-2 lead, and that's thanks to the best fans in baseball. The Brewers are offering residents of the 5-county area 50% off tickets to games today through Tuesday against the Pirates and Cardinals. Visit brewers.com/5county.
Well, the Brewers lead 4-2. Pittsburgh getting 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning on a Neil Walker home run. The 3rd home run tonight. Reynolds had one. A 1-out solo shot in the 5th inning. And he'll lead off this 7th inning. New pitcher Rockies Brian Morris out of the Pirates bullpen has yet to allow an earned run this year.
Yeah, 4th appearance, the right-hander with a good slider. So the Brewers able to get to Liriano and forced Clint Hurdle to pinch hit for him. So as good as Liriano was, the Brewers are holding on to a 4-2 lead.
Liriano came in with an earned run average over 7 in his career at Miller Park. 6 innings tonight for the Pittsburgh ace. 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. And on the hook for the loss. Looks like Willie Peralta's done for the night, getting handshakes in the dugout. Pitch count over 100, and his spot in the order due up 3rd. And if that's the case, Peralta goes 7 with 2 runs, 1 earned, and a chance to win. Looking for his first win of the year, Peralta, after a no decision in his first start in Boston.
Yeah, in 2 starts, Willie's given up 4 unearned runs. I mean, that's a lot.
On the corner, a called strike 3, and Reynolds, he is down on strikes. Like the Brewers, the Pirates have a very good bullpen. Especially when they have leads in games, it becomes one of the toughest in the National League. Mark Melancon setting up Jason Grilli. Those two were quite a 1-2 combo last year. And you hope not to see them. That's been part of the success for the Brewers. They haven't had to face the setup relievers or closer with the lead at this point. They faced Tazawa and Uehara in Boston, but remember, that was in a tie game.
Didn't even see Papelbon. He never pitched.
Yeah, the Phillies closer, who was booed while introduced in front of the home fans for the Phillies home opener, did not appear in the series. Defensive swing by Weeks, and it's 0-2. Ricky had a big hit his last time up. He doubled in the 5th. Scored on Gomez's RBI single. Henderson still in the bullpen, firing it up. Looks like he'll have the 8th inning. Boy, Weeks has had a tough draw, huh? How about the left-handers he's had to face? His only starts have come against left-handed pitching, and he's the guy getting the starts against Wood and Lester, Cliff Lee, and now Liriano tonight. A little cue shot out to Walker. One second baseman retires the other. Well, 2 outs in the inning.
He got a hit yesterday. He got a double off of Liriano. Came around to score. So one of the most difficult things to do in baseball, any sport, I guess, if you're not playing much, when your name is called, how do you stay sharp and stay on big league pitching? I mean, Ricky, a couple of hits, certainly not where he wants to be, but he's been able to get on base.
And here's his platoon mate, Scooter Gennett, pinch hitting. See if Gennett stays in defensively for the final 2 innings. We'll see. And back up the middle, hits Morris. He recovers. Gennett is retired. 1-2-3 inning for Brian Morris. Pirates have the top of their order due up. Ramirez and Mark Reynolds, and a 2-run home run by Neil Walker. Willie Peralta goes 7 innings, 1 earned run, and continues a very impressive run for Brewers starting pitching, going back to last year, as a matter of fact. 24 straight games with a starter for the Brewers allowing 3 earned runs or fewer. It's going to be Jim Henderson Rock in a setup role now, as his stuff has returned. Ron Renicky putting him into the big spots late.
Well, it'll be 3 out of 4 games now with this appearance tonight in Philadelphia. His 2 appearances, 2 scoreless innings, including 4 strikeouts. And Henderson with the top of the order. This will be a good test for him as Scooter Gennett takes over at second base.
Brewers tighten up their infield defense. Starling Marte will lead off. Marte is 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Marte, Snyder, and Andrew McCutchen. If anybody gets on, Pedro Alvarez. Well, not only have the Pirates shown a knack for the comeback this year, 5 of their 6 wins have been 1-run victories. So they've been involved in a number of close games. They have 2 extra inning wins. Marte drops a bunt down. Henderson over, and he makes a play. 1 gone in the 8th. Brewers bullpen has been a big story to start the year. Let's take a look at the Marshfield Clinic, leaders in relief, and no bullpen better as far as earned run average than the Milwaukee Brewers in all of baseball.
The Brewers, as a pitching staff, the only team in all of baseball with an earned run average coming in under 2 at 195. Starters and relievers.
You see Will Smith, the tunnel, the bullpen coach, prepping him for a possible appearance against Pedro Alvarez, you would think, if it gets to that point. That's a guy the Brewers don't want to see in this inning.
And if he gets up, that means there's trouble brewing this inning. There'll be some men on base.
Travis Snyder is 1 out of 3, has one of the 4 Pittsburgh hits. 3 singles for the Pirates and a 2-run homer by Neil Walker. Walker has 2 hits tonight for the Pirates. Snyder had a pinch hit 2-run home run yesterday at Wrigley. Part of that comeback for the Pirates. He also homered Wednesday against Chicago. So back-to-back games with a long ball for Snyder.
That fastball has been consistently around 94 for Henderson, which isn't too bad. The first 2 pitches when he came in, they were at 91. All of a sudden, he started cranking it up a little bit. Getting loose. Much better velocity.
Two and two to Snyder. And the count goes full. Well, this is a spot you want to avoid putting someone on base. You got the MVP coming up next in McCutchen.
Especially with a walk.
And you know Snyder understands where he hits in the batting order. Looking for a good pitch to hit. 3-2. And Snyder fouls it back and had a good pitch to hit.
Yes, he did. Had a good swing.
A very sweet spot in a batting order, hitting in second in most major league lineups. And it certainly is with these two teams in front of Braun and McCutchen. Another payoff and got him. Henderson dials it up a couple of notches, strikes out Travis Snyder for the second out.
96 miles an hour, but that's only half the story. That one right on the outside corner. Not too many hitters are going to get a good swing of that pitch. That was a beauty. And the best one he's thrown. It was right on the corner and in the upper 90s. That's more like it.
And what could be Henderson's last hitter with the big power lefty on deck. Andrew McCutchen, who's reached twice, has 2 stolen bases tonight. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And a big bat on deck. And McCutchen lines it right to Ramirez. And Jim Henderson, a 3-up, 3-down 8th. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Brewers still lead 4-2. Craig and Davey next.
Another tight ball game as we get ready for Brewers Live postgame, Davey. But our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game's first 2 runs delivered by Ramos Ramirez.
That's right, and it was on a pitch that was up, out over the plate, that Laureano, one of the few mistakes he made, and he paid for it.
That was a big 2-out home run for Ramos Ramirez. That was his first home run of the season. That gave the Brewers a 2-0 lead at that point. Right now clinging to a 4-2 lead right now. Brewers Live postgame is on the way. We'll hear from the Brewer clubhouse. We'll break down Willie Peralta's game and talk more about the offense that keeps moving along here. Coming up after the ball game, Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. Making the most of their 4 hits. And we have some changes here. Development with Andrew McCutchen. He's out as Marte moves from left field to center field. And in the game is Josh Harrison. Andrew McCutchen on that line drive out looked like he tweaked something.
Yeah, getting out of the batter's box. Not sure what it was. It could have been one of a number of different things. Probably something with his legs, but he is done for the night.
Carlos Gomez at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Top of the order for the Brewers. 4-2 Milwaukee in the bottom of the 8th inning. Morris trying to give the Pirates 2 innings. He was 3 up, 3 down with a K in the 7th. Three of the 4 Brewers hits have produced runs tonight, making them count. And Gomez down on strikes. Let's see what we can pick up here. McCutchen's last at bat as he lines out. And just watch his body language.
Yeah, right there, maybe an ankle. They pop something somewhere. I'm not sure what it is, but he is done for the night.
Something grabbed him, so see if we can get an update. Here's Gene Segura with 1 out. Don't forget, Gene Segura, the focus of a brand new show debuting after Brewers Live postgame tonight. Baseball in the Dominican. Great look at Gene Segura's homeland.
Craig and Davey said they're going to stay out on the set and watch that.
I'm sure they got a few things in mind to keep them entertained while they watch.
Yeah.
I say we all hang out and watch tonight, huh? Segura strikes out. Boy, Morris, he's nasty right now.
Yeah, good breaking ball. 3rd strikeout for Morris.
5 in a row he's retired. Now the Pirates are going to have Alvarez, Martin, and Walker due up in the 9th inning. That strikeout slider by Morris. Brewers got a great start tonight from Willie Peralta. 7 strong, 2 runs, 1 earned. And in line for his first win of the year in his 2nd start. Braun, a slow roller. Going to be a tough play. And no chance as Braun is safe on an infield hit. That was a heck of a play by Morris.
It was. I mean, that throw right on the money. I mean, that's a terrific athletic play by Morris, but a little bit too late. Brawny beats this one into the ground. And look at Morris. Check this out. I mean, that is a great throw and almost got him at first base. I didn't think there's any way he was going to get there, let alone be able to get a throw off. Wow.
Close. But an infield single for Braun keeps the inning alive for Ramos Ramirez. Heck of a play by Morris. Braun kind of had that long stretch, that last step to the bag.
Actually slows you down a bit.
He'll take it. Braun 1 for 4 tonight. Here is Ramirez.
Morris throws a lot of sliders, doesn't he? You might see Braun try and steal a base here. Why not?
Give it a shot.
Get into scoring position.
One and one on Ramirez. Aramis with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Turned around a Liriano fastball for a 2-run homer. That was the first hit for the Brewers. Close play at first. Brewers did some damage on Liriano's fastball tonight. Reynolds got him for a homer in the 5th inning on a fastball, and Gomez had an RBI single on the Heat as well on a night when Liriano struck out 7.
Yeah, Brewers only able to manage 1 hit on his off-speed stuff. It was Ricky Weeks that got a base hit to driving a run on a changeup. They did not really hit the slider hard at all against Liriano. That's how good he was, but made a couple of mistakes that cost
him. 2 outs in the 8th. Braun at first. Brewers lead by 2. And wow, what a play by Russell Martin. I think he took that one off the thigh.
Getting beat up back here, isn't he?
I'm digging that helmet he's got on, Rock. That's kind of like the matte finish. Got a little grit to it.
Yeah, they don't have a shine on them very long, those catcher's helmets, but why bother?
Martin still shaking it off back there. Keeps Braun at first. Ramirez tied with Braun for the club lead in RBIs with 10. It's in a 2-2 count. Able to stay alive. Cubs and Cardinals hooked up in a good one tonight. They are in St. Louis and they're even at 1 apiece. The other division matchup this evening. The Reds are home against Tampa Bay. They actually are finished now. They lost to the Rays 2-1. David Price beat them. Price now 2-0. He beat Johnny Cueto tonight. Try another 2-2. And a pick-off attempt. Braun is back. See Braun tell Garth Orich he's fast.
Quick feet, nearly got him.
Yeah. Looks like Braun wants to run.
Yeah, he does look like he wants to run. He's getting a little bit extra on that lead.
Stays put. Ramirez lines one to left. Yeah, what an at-bat by Aramis Ramirez. You can't shake him. Another hit with 2 strikes.
There's the benefit of holding a runner close. A guy like Braun wants to run. Morris did a very good job of keeping him close, keeping him off balance. Braun not able to steal a base, and because of that, the Ramirez single doesn't play to run. He's able to hook a slider going away from him into left field.
Another multi-hit game for Aramis Ramirez. This is the 9th game of the year. Ramirez now with 17 hits. What a start. And now 2 on for Lucroy.
couple of years ago, before Russell Martin was with Pittsburgh, Braun was going to take off. I mean, what a difference Martin makes. That Martin factor, not just calling games, but the way he minimizes that running game.
Wasn't the case for many years with the Pirates. Pittsburgh's backup catcher, Chris Snyder, not with the club. He's on the disabled list, had knee surgery in a minor league rehab. They have two good catchers.
And Tony Sanchez, the other.
Lucroy looking for his first hit. He walked his last time up. 2 on, 2 out. Brewers would love to tack one on here.
Lucroy is going to have the green light here, no doubt. 3-0. 3 fastballs coming.
And that one hits the edge. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Good take, not a good hitter's pitch.
Still got the count in his favor. Pitch 4 right at the bottom of the zone. 3-1 to Lucroy. Braun and Ramirez on base. And Lucroy on the ground to second. And that will retire the side. And now we're set up for the 9th. The Brewers lead it 4-2, making a run at their 7th consecutive win. Is it K-Rod time? We'll see when we come back. .30 Central on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Edinson Volquez against the Brewers ace Giovanni Gallardo. What a start he's off to. 2-0, has not allowed an earned run in his first 2 starts. Beat the Braves and the Red Sox. Giovanni Gallardo. We go to the 9th now, and the Brewers lead 4-2. Frankie Rodriguez on to try to nail it down. 2 saves on the Columbia St. Mary's save tracker at this point.
Yeah, picked one up in Boston. He got one on opening day here at Miller Park, then in Boston on Saturday. Saved that 11-inning win for the Brewers against the Red Sox. Finished last night's ball game 3 up, 3 down with a couple of punch outs. Not a save situation last night. It is tonight.
And he'll have the middle of the order coming up with Alvarez, Russell Martin, and Neil Walker. And a 2-run lead to work with. Brewers have held Alvarez tonight hitless. Willie Peralta had him 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And just how you want him to hit with nobody on base and a 2-run lead. Brewers started the year in a 3-game series here at Miller Park, dropped 2 out of 3 to the Braves. All 3 games very competitive, low scoring. Alvarez fouls it away.
Just took them a while to get their hitting shoes on, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, Brewers hit under 200 in that first series. You got to give credit to the Braves pitching, though.
Yeah.
Especially as the Brewers fell behind late, having to deal with that great bullpen and the closer Kimbrel. That's in there for a strike. 1-2 now on Alvarez. K-Rod ahead in the count. 1-2 and a little bouncer foul just off the end of the bat.
Just able to stay alive. That changeup from K-Rod, a good one.
Going with a signature pitch. The changeup coming. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alvarez. And he bounces it. 2-2. Two teams off to great starts. Pirates have won all 3 of their series this year, coming in at 6-3. The 2-2, and that's way inside, almost hit him. Full count. The Brewers' 7-2 record, the best start since 1998. Brewers as a franchise have not started a season 8-2 or better since Bill Schroeder's team streak of 1987, when they won the first 13 games of the year. The payoff, and down he goes. K-Rod surprised him with a fastball.
Not just surprised him with a fastball, but a perfect fastball in the corner. 2 fastballs that Alvarez took in that at bat, both perfect. On the outer edge. Look at that. Now, you can't walk it across better than that. I would have bet a changeup, and I think Alvarez thinking the same thing, and he got caught looking, but not much you could do with it anyway.
A big first out of the 9th. 1 gone for Russell Martin. That one's on the edge. K-Rod gets ahead. Frankie's been talking about his fastball, and he got such a late start to the spring. Coming over from Venezuela, had visa trouble. It is a city in Caracas where K-Rod lives, and civil unrest as he spins one in for strike 2. So he was a late starter in spring training, and he said his fastball hasn't felt right. He feels like he's got a few more miles an hour, but he's been able to spot it well, and his changeup's been great. He's got Martin down 0-2.
Well, it doesn't have to be big velocity if he puts it where he's been putting it tonight. I mean, right on the corners. Location much more important than how fast you're throwing it. And when you have both, that's something special. That's what Willie was able to do tonight.
Frankie said it's difficult to get on an off-season workout program, throwing program, when there are people outside his door with AK-47s walking around. Puts it all in perspective. But he cranked it up quickly in Arizona and saved the first game of the year in a surprise move by Ron Renicky. Inserted him into that closer, and he relied heavily on that changeup.
And it's worked out pretty well.
Those two go back a long way, back to the Angels days, And Francisco Rodriguez burst onto the scene in that World Series winning year with the Angels in 2002. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Russell Martin at the plate. Count stays at 1-2. Rodriguez traded from the Brewers to the Orioles last year, but said he always kept in the back of his mind, if given the opportunity, he would return to Milwaukee. This is his 3rd tour with the Brewers.
That's that location I was just speaking of. I mean, you can't put it any better than that. Russell Martin hanging in there, staying tough, just trying to put the ball in play.
Everything down and away. Going with a curveball here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Martin doesn't bite. Lucroy blocks just in case. Rodriguez needs 4 saves to tie Hall of Famer Goose Gossage for 20th place on the all-time Major League saves list. He's sitting on 306 career saves. 2-2. And Martin late, but hanging in there.
8th pitch coming up. Actually, 9th pitch coming up. And he's giving him everything he's got. Fastballs, changeups, curveballs.
Frankie faced 3 batters yesterday, had a couple of strikeouts. Finishing off the sweep of the road trip in Philadelphia. Pitch number 9 on the way. And a swing and a foul tip right into the middle of Lucroy. A strikeout. K-Rod wins the battle with Russell Martin.
It took a while. 10 pitches. Make that 9 pitches, and the changeup finally getting him. Well, he earned that strikeout. Hey, knock your 2014 group outing out of the ballpark. The group tickets starting at just $9. Whatever your group size and budget, Miller Park's perfect destination for your next group event. Well, 414-902-47-77.
Pirates down to their last out. Tying run still in the on-deck circle. Neil Walker at the plate. Walker responsible for the 2 runs on the board for the Pirates. 2-run homer off Peralta in the 7th. That was Walker's first home run since he hit a walk-off home run on opening day to beat the Cubs in Pittsburgh. 1 ball, 1 strike on Walker. 1-2 now. Brewers are a strike away from 7 straight wins. A swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Frankie Rodriguez closes the door. Strikes out the side, and the Brewers win again. 7 in a row. The Brewers, the hottest team in baseball. Three up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. And the Brewers bullpen tonight, Rock, goes 6 up, 6 down with 4 Ks. And the Marshfield Clinic shining moment, K-Rod strikeout of Walker to end it.
Well, once again, he might not be throwing 95 miles an hour, but the location has been outstanding all season long, or at least the first couple of weeks for K-Rod. And this pitching staff just continues to impress. I mean, 1 earned run tonight in 9 innings. The earned run average will go down. And coming into play today, the best team earned run average in all of baseball.
And let's send it down to Sophia with Aramis Ramirez.
Thanks, Brian. Aramis, your home run now puts you a scorching 8 for 11 with runners in scoring position. What are the keys for you to staying relaxed and patient in those situations?
Well, the pitcher is the one in trouble. I just looking for something over the plate and try to hit it hard.
7 strong innings for Willie Peralta, just 1 earned run allowed. Why was he so effective tonight?
He threw the ball well. Willie's got good stuff. He just got to throw the ball over the plate. Good sinker. We all know he throws 95, 97. So as long as he throws strikes, he'll be okay.
7 wins in a row now, but do these wins mean a little bit more against a divisional team?
They mean the same against everybody. I mean, right now we're playing pretty good. We're doing everything right. We're pitching well. We're hitting well. Hopefully we just stay in the field and get the job done.
All right, thanks, Aramis, for your time. And Craig, Aramis Ramirez home runs puts the Brewers on the board, and they come away. Willie Peralta gets his first win of the season.
How about them Brewers? 7 in a row. We're going to talk about it. The offense doing just enough. More great pitching, starting and bullpen. We're going to get inside the clubhouse here from Ron Renicky as well. Stay with us. Brewers Live postgame is on the way.